Have you ever felt like you were drowning in a desert? It sounds impossible, doesn't it? To drown where there is no water, but that is exactly what happens when the mind collapses under the weight of 1,000 what-ifs. You aren't gasping for air, you're gasping for hope. Most people believe that our circumstances define our joy, that we need the rain to fall before we can smile. But what if I told you that the sun which withers one man's harvest is the same sun that lights another man's path to a miracle? The difference isn't in the sky. It's in the pot of your soul. In a village where time seemed to move at the speed of growing rice, lived an elder named Daniel. He didn't preach from a pulpit or shout from the rooftops. He simply sat. Near the ancient stone well, under the sprawling shade of a banyan tree, Daniel was a fixture of peace. His hair was the color of moonlight, and his skin was a map of a century's worth of winters and summers. One afternoon, the heat was a physical weight. The air shimmered with the kind of cruelty only a drought can bring. The paddy fields, once a sea of emerald, were now a graveyard of cracked earth and yellowing stalks. Into this stillness stumbled Gopal. Gopal wasn't just tired, he was broken. His clothes were stiff with dust, but his eyes were heavier than his feet. He dropped his metal bucket with a jarring clang that echoed against the stone walls of the well. He didn't draw water. He just sank to the ground, his head in his hands, trembling. "It's over, Daniel," Gopal whispered, his voice like sandpaper. "The sky is brass. The earth is iron. I've worked until my fingernails bled, and for what? To watch my children go hungry. Every thought I have is a stone, and I'm sinking." The villagers gathered at a distance, their own buckets empty, their hearts reflecting Gopal's despair. They looked to Daniel, expecting a prayer or a platitude. Daniel didn't offer sympathy. He offered a demonstration. With a slow, deliberate grace, he pointed his wooden walking stick toward two clay pots sitting on the ledge of the well. The first pot was a vision of purity. It held water so still it acted as a mirror, reflecting the vast, blue sky and the green leaves of the banyan tree. The second pot was a disaster. It was caked in dried mud, and the water inside was a murky, gray soup. Dead leaves and grit floated on the surface, obscuring everything beneath. Daniel tapped the clean pot. The water rippled, catching the sunlight like a diamond. "The same well filled both," Daniel said, his voice a low hum. "The same source. The same opportunity." Then, he tapped the muddy pot. As the water stirred, the filth from the bottom rose to the surface, making the liquid even darker, even more repulsive. "Gopal," Daniel said, looking directly into the farmer's restless eyes. "Your mind is the pot. Your circumstances are the well. The well provides life, but you have let the dust of the road settle in your soul. You are trying to see your future through a vessel filled with mud. How can you find a way out when you have made your own vision impossible?" The crowd went silent. Gopal looked at the muddy pot, then at his own trembling hands. "But the mud is there, Daniel. I didn't put it there. The wind brought it. The drought brought it. How do I make it clean when the world keeps throwing dirt?" Daniel didn't answer with words. He picked up a small wooden cup. He dipped the cup into the muddy pot, scooped out a portion of the filth, and poured it onto the parched ground. Then, reaching into the deep, cool darkness of the well, he drew a cup of fresh, sparkling water and poured it into the muddy vessel. The water remained cloudy. He did it again. Scoop out the gray, pour in the clear. And again. And again. The villagers watched, mesmerized by the rhythmic splash pour, splash pour. At first, it seemed futile. The pot still looked dirty. But after the 10th cup, the gray turned to a light haze. After the 20th, you could see the bottom of the clay. After the 30th, the water in the dirty pot was indistinguishable from the clean one. You do not clean a thought by fighting it, Daniel whispered. You cannot grab mud with your hands to remove it. You only get your hands dirty. You clean a thought by replacing it. One cup of light at a time. One thought of I can to wash out the I can't dot. Gopal stayed by the well long after the others left. He watched the reflection of the rising moon in the now clear pot. He realized that for weeks, he had been pouring mud into his own mind, thoughts of failure, images of starvation, the sound of his own defeat. That night, Gopal didn't sleep. But he didn't weep either. Before the sun could crack the horizon, Gopal was in his fields. He didn't look at the dead crops, he looked at the slope of the land. He remembered a small stream 3 miles away that still held a trickle of life. He began to dig. His neighbors watched him from their windows. He's gone mad, they whispered. He's digging graves for his plants. But Gopal didn't hear them. Every time his muscles screamed, stop, he poured a cup of clarity into his mind. The water is there. My hands are strong. The earth will yield. By the 3rd day, another farmer stepped into the trench with a spade. By the 5th day, 10 men were digging. They weren't just digging a channel for water, they were digging a channel for their own survival. They had traded their collective despair for a single, focused action. Weeks later, the miracle happened. It wasn't a thunderstorm. It was a thin, silver ribbon of water that finally snaked its way through the hand-carved trench and kissed the roots of Gopal's field. The soil drank greedily. The stalks, once brittle, turned a defiant, stubborn green. Gopal returned to the well. He didn't come with an empty bucket this time. He came with a cloth bundle. He approached Daniel and placed a handful of vibrant, golden grain at the elder's feet. Daniel looked at the grain, then at Gopal. The farmer's shoulders were no longer heavy. His eyes were as clear as the water in the pot. The rain still hasn't come, Daniel, Gopal said, a small smile playing on his lips. I know, Daniel replied. But I found the water anyway. Life will always throw dirt into your path. People will let you down, economies will shift, and the rain will sometimes refuse to fall. You cannot control the wind, and you cannot control the drought. But you are the guardian of your vessel. If you fill your mind with the mud of fear, you will be paralyzed. You will sit by the well and starve while the water is right beneath you. But if you choose, deliberately, cup by cup, to replace fear with focus, and doubt with discipline, you change the chemistry of your life. Positive thinking is not a magic wand. It is a shovel. It doesn't change the world, it changes you, so that you can change the world. So, Look at your pot today. What are you pouring in? If it's cloudy, don't despair. Just reach for the next cup of light. Start small. Think better. Act better. And watch the desert bloom.